I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
Sir, we're going to let him get away.
No, Carl, you let him get away.
Which I didn't think any of my films were conventional, but this is one of the least conventional films I made, and it certainly, isn't like any of the films I made in the last, let's say, the last decade, where I've been making a lot of films that have their basis in history, and also are darker. So this film to me was like it was a complete vacation, and I wasn't trying to reinvent myself, and I was simply trying to pleasure myself by telling you a story that I had just, been enamored of at DreamWorks as the head of DreamWorks. This script came across our desk, and we decided to make it into a movie. I had no intention of directing it, but I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Welcome to Miami Mutual Bank. How may I help you?
I'd like to cash this check here, and then I'd like to take you out for a steak dinner.
Are you realized, Tyler?
Sure am, little lady.
The jump seat is open.
It's been a while since I've done this. Which one's the jump seat again?
Dr. Connors to the ER. Dr. Connors to the ER.
This is irrefutable evidence that the defendant is lying.
Special Agent Hanratty, FBI.
Hello, Carl. Well, after meeting Frank, I really understood how instinctive of an actor he really was. I mean, he unconsciously, well, quite consciously, but he knew what he was doing. He got into characters, he researched the role, he put on the proper attire, he understood the lingo, and he went out into the real world, which was essentially his stage, and gave, terrific performances every day. But one of the most interesting things that I learned from speaking to him was that he never, at the end of the day, felt like he had anyone that he could really communicate with. No one really knew his true identity, so he was perpetuating this lie constantly every day. And from looking at it from the outside in, it could look like a pretty lavish, exuberant, fantastic lifestyle. But to him, I think after a while, it wore on him.
I think he missed out on those 5 years from the joy of press junkets. It's a big loss. I mean, it's a lot of hotels you go to.
You're going to get caught. It's like Vegas. The house always wins.
Some nuts flying around the country posing as a pilot, calling the James Bond of the sky. Hello, Pusher.
This is by far the best date I have ever been on.
He's a kid. That's why he doesn't have a record.
Well, I think I picked up from all of the television shows that were going on back then ideas, and certainly when I was a doctor, I watched the show to pick up some of the terminology and some of the things that were said on the show in the same way with being the lawyer. But most of it, to be honest, I didn't really find that difficult to do. Certainly being the lawyer wasn't very difficult to do. But, most of it was simply doing enough research to learn how to speak that language, how to speak that jargon, and actually going out and doing it. I was well aware that I would never be able to carry on these impersonations for a very long period of time, that sooner or later someone would catch me, but I was certainly aware that I could carry it on for a short period of time. And in my career back then, many of the things that I did, I was just trying to take to the next level. Could I get in the hospital and actually work as a doctor? And if I was a doctor, could I go down and actually see a patient? But once I would get to a certain level, then I got to that level, I was done with it, and I moved on to something else. So a lot of times it's just a challenge of could I get that far with it and do it.
President runs a codeine every 4 hours. Do you concur?
I concur.
Dr. Harris.
Yes?
Do you concur?
Concur with thoughts, sir.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to have to tell you, your son is forging checks.
I have a payroll check here I'd like to cash.
Time up to be part time of the church now. Just tell me how much yours and I'll pay you back.
$1.3 million. Well, my character is actually a conglomeration of quite a few FBI agents that worked on catching Frank, an entire task force. There is one particular man who did, become, he's still very good friends. I did have a chance to meet him at the premiere, actually, which is really quite extraordinary. And come across a true career FBI agent there. That's a special type of human being. We've since corresponded a couple of times, very pleasant letters back and forth. But knowing that wasn't specifically a real human being, I just wanted to meet him at the last moment say, so how bad was I, or were we close? How good was it? He gave us pretty good marks.
We'll be choosing 8 young ladies to be a part of Pan Am's future stewardess program.
South America, Australia, Singapore.
These are so perfect. The bank doesn't even know the difference. What do you want?
To apologize.
You didn't call to apologize, did you? You have no one else to call.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad it was nominated for BAFTA.
He doesn't even know.
And I want to thank BAFTA for nominating us. I'm sure that we'll meet again someday, and it's great. I didn't know that. It's good news. I just found this out.
Nobody had a better radar. Merry Christmas parade.
I'm getting close, huh? You will go to prison.
You're gonna have to catch me.